Hello and welcome dear students. So in our previous class we have started probability and probability distribution. In that we have covered basic aspects regarding probability. So it refers to the chance of happening or not happening of an event, and the chance indicates some sort of uncertainty, and when we express this uncertainty numerically, so that time the condition is called as a probability, or simply the numerical expression of uncertainty is probability. We have seen basic terminologies, then we have solved some examples, we have looked some formulas, and in this today's lecture we'll continue with remaining topic or next topic. So here the first point is classical probability, or it is called as relative frequency theory of probability. So the relative frequency approach to theory of probability is not based on priori probabilities or classical probability, where it is possible to have equally likely events. However, this approach of probability is based upon past experiences and experiments, or on the basis of relative frequency of success in the past. So, on the basis of past death rate, one can easily calculate the probability of present death rate. For example, mortality tables, table relating to expression of life at various stages, then birth rates, death rate, etc., are all based on the past experiences. The larger the number of past readings, the greater will be the accuracy of the result, and since in a relative frequency approach, the probabilities are calculated on the basis of past experience, it is called as posterior probabilities as to the priori probabilities, which are calculated through classical approach. So posterior probabilities are also called as empirical probabilities and thus empirical in nature. So Spiegel has defined probability as the empirical probability of an event is taken as an relative frequency of occurrence of event when the number of observation is very large, and probability itself is the limit of relative frequency as the number of observations they are indefinite. Okay, so this is the formula for a relative frequency based probability, and the probability based on relative frequency can be calculated the empirical probability of an event. Thus it is given by p is equal to number of favorable cases upon total number of equally likely cases. Okay, and the probability that a will not occur, it is denoted by a bar and is given by number of outcomes unfavorable to occurrence of a and total number of outcomes. So we're not going to solve a problem on this particular concept. You have to just look out theoretical background. Then next, so the classical approach to probability is the earliest approach to the theory of probability, and the basic assumption underlying the classical theory is that the outcomes of random experiments are equally likely. The event under consideration possesses one or more possible outcomes of the given activity, such as when a die is rolled once at any one of the six possible outcomes, that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, they can occur. If you roll die, there are any possible outcome for this. So 1 will appear, 2 will appear, 3 will appear, 4 may appear, and 5 and 6 they may appear. Means we cannot predict fixedly which number will appear. So the term equally likely conveys the notion that each outcome of an experiment has same chance of appearing as any other. So as six spaces are there, so here there is an equal chance to each number to appear. Okay, so the French mathematician Laplace and his disciples, who are supposed to be founders, who belongs to the school of thought, believed that probability of an event is simply the ratio of number of favorable cases to the total number of equally likely cases. So here these are classical probability based definitions, and if probability of occurrence of A is denoted by P for A, and it is given by number of favorable cases upon total number of equally likely cases, and similarly the probability that A will not occur, it is denoted by probability for A bar, and is given by number of outcomes unfavorable to occurrence of A upon total number of outcomes. So here an example is given. So if a coin is tossed, there are two equal likely results. Okay, if you toss a coin, there are two equally likely events or results, a head or tail. Hence the probability of head is half. Similarly, in case of a dice thrown, the probability of obtaining even number is 6 out of 3, because in a series of 6 there are 3 even numbers, 2, 4 and 6. So out of this 6 outcome, 3 times even number will be appear. So this is probability of occurring of even number. Similarly, in case of odd numbers, again it is 3 by 6 and 1 half. So since there are 6 equally possible results of for even numbers and for odd numbers also. So out of 6 possible outcome, 3 times even numbers will come, and obviously 3 times odd numbers will come. So if you both join this probability, 1 half plus 1 half, it is 1, exactly 1. And we have already discussed that in any kind of calculation, probability should be between 0 to 1. The next example is that what is the probability of drawing queen from a pack of 52 cards. Okay, now we know that in a pack of 52 cards, there are 4 queens of different colors, and if we want to draw only queen out of 52 cards, then there will be 4 different possibilities of different colors. So for this particular event, the probability is 1 upon 13, means 4 upon 52 means 52 times 52 divided 4 divided by 52 is equal to 1 divided by 13. Okay, so if 2 coins they are tossed simultaneously, what is the probability of getting head and tail? This is the another problem, fifth problem. So if we tossed 2 coins simultaneously, then what is the probability of getting head and tail? So the possible combination of 2 coins turning up with head or tail are both coins head will appear. This is the first condition. Second, in first coin head will there, and in second coin tail will there, ST. In case of a third condition, tail is there in case of first coin, and head will be appear in case of second coin. So that is third is TH, and fourth, in case of both coins, tail will be there. So these are 4 possible outcomes if you toss the 2 coins simultaneously. So for this particular problem, 4 out of 2, so 1 half is the answer. So probability of getting head and tail for 2 coins is 1 half. Okay. So next problem is that suppose there is a bag containing 10 red and 20 white balls, and a ball is drawn at random. So what is the probability that it is red? Okay, so what is the probability that it is red? Suppose you have a bag, and that bag contains 10 red and 20 white balls. Okay, so total that bag will contain 30 balls, 10 for red and 20 of white, 20 for whites. So suppose I ask you to calculate randomly, you have to pick the ball, red ball, and I have to ask to find probability for this condition. So there are total 30 balls, and 10 times, or as there are 10 red balls, so 30 out of 10 is equal to 1/3. Okay, so total number of equally likely cases there are 30, and total number of favorable cases, that means we are expecting red ball, so that is 10. So 30 out of 10 they are 1/3. Okay, so total number of balls in a bag, they are 10 plus 2 is equal to 30, and number of red balls 10. Okay, so 10 times there is possibility of drawing a red ball, as the number is 10. Okay, so the classical approach to probability is based on the following assumptions: that equally likely events and mutually exclusive events and collectively exclusive events. So events, they are said to be collectively exclusive when number of favorable cases and number of unfavorable cases, they are equal to the number of cases, and it can be explained as while tossing a coin, either head comes upward or tail comes down upward, and there is no third possibility. Okay, so collectively exclusive means what? Events that are said to be collectively exhaustive means what? When number of favorable cases and number of unfavorable cases, they are equal. Here for tossing a coin, this is an experiment, and for this particular experiment two outcomes are there: either head will there, either tail will there. So if head will appear, obviously tail will be in downward, tail will not appear. So here possibility of one condition exhaust probability of occurring of another, so either one of the two will appear. Then in case of mutually exclusive events and equally likely events, conditions are different. So classical approach to probability, that is based on these are for based on these following assumptions. I think we have discussed this point. Next, axiomatic approach to probability. And the axiomatic approach to probability was introduced by Russian mathematician, that is A.N. Kolmogorov in year 1933, and Kolmogorov axiomized the theory of probability, and his book Foundation of Probability is considered as a classic. And the axiomatic probability includes the concept of both classical as well as empirical definition of probability. So for this condition, the probability of an event ranges between 0 to 1. In case if an event cannot take place, its probability shall be 0, and if it is certain, then its probability shall be 1. So these are some of the conditions. First is what? The probability of an event ranges from 0 to 1. Okay, so for any kind of probability based calculation, probability always lies between value 0 to 1, and in case of event that cannot take place, so for that event probability will be always 0, and in case of an event whose results are certain, so probability for that experiment or for that condition is always 1. Okay, the probability of entire sample space is 1. So for any entire sample space, the probability is 1. Okay, suppose I toss a coin and there are two possibilities, head or tail. So for head, half is there, and again for tail, half is there. So half plus half is equal to 1. So for any kind of such experience, probability is always 1. So sample space is 1. If A and B are mutually exclusive events, then probability of occurrence of either A or B, denoted by probability A union B. The symbol look like U is union. Okay, it is not U, but the pronunciation for that symbol is U. Okay, so if A and B are mutually exclusive events, then the probability of occurrence of either A or B is noted by probability in bracket A union B, and it shall be given as probability for A union B is equal to separate probability A plus probability B. So here an example is given. So tickets are numbered from 1 to 100. Suppose there are 100 tickets and they are numbered from serially from 1 to 100, and they are well shuffled, they are mixed, they are well shuffled, and a ticket is drawn at random. So what is the probability that the drawn ticket has following? And it may be an even number, it may be a number 5 or multiple of 5, and third, it may be a number which is greater than 75, and it may be a number which is a square. So this is a problem, and here four conditions they are given, and we have to find out probability for each of these conditions. Okay, suppose there are tickets, and these tickets they are numbered serially from 1 to 100, and they are well mixed and shuffled, and a ticket is drawn, okay, at random. So what is the probability that the drawn ticket has? First, it may be an even number. So first condition that it should be an even number. So we'll examining each case. Okay, so for first, what is the condition? It should be an even number. So out of 100 tickets, it should be an even number. So if you know that in case of a series from 1 to 100, there are 50 odd numbers and 50 even numbers. Okay, in case of a series for 1 to 100, there are 50 even numbers and 50 odd numbers. Okay, so for this condition, probability is 100 out of 50 is equal to 1 up. Okay, so any even number it can be drawn. Say for example 2 may be there, 4 may be there, 6 may be there, 8 may be there, up to 100. If you calculate from 1 to 100, there are 50 odd numbers and 50 even numbers, and our first condition is that the card drawn should be any even number. So as we have 50 even numbers, so from 100 cards there are 50 different possibilities. Okay, so for this condition, probability is 100 out of 50 means 1 half. Okay, 50 out of 100 means 1 half. Then second condition, suppose A denotes a number of happenings that drawn ticket has number of 5 or multiple of 5. ओके, या कंडिशनमध्ये काय आहे की काढलेला नंबर हा 5 पाहिजे किंवा 5च्या मल्टिपलमध्ये पाहिजे, म्हणजे 5, 10, 15, 20 असं कर 100 पर्यंत. ओके, सो इफ यू एक्झामाइन दिस केस, सो यू विल फाइंड दॅट देर आर 20 numbers, those which starts from 5, and if you multiply by means they are multiple of 5s, means 5 plus 5 is equal to 10, again 10 plus 5 is equal to 15, in such a way. So the 5 and multiple of 5, it includes overall 20 numbers. So out of 100 numbers, 20 different numbers may appear in this particular condition. So probability for this second problem is 20 out of 100 is equal to 1/5. Okay, if you draw a card, so out of 20 number, any number will become there. 5 will be there, 10 will be there, 15 will be there, 20 will be there, 25 will be there. So in case of multiple of 5. Okay, third condition is that there are 25 cases which have number greater than 75. Okay, so the third condition is given here, that a number which is greater than 75. Okay, so what is the condition in problem? that the card drawn or ticket drawn, it should be a number that is greater than 75. If you know that greater than 75 includes 76, 77, 78, 79, 80 up to 100. So there are 25 numbers that are ahead out from 70. So for this condition, 25 out of 100 means any one of the number that is ahead to 75, it will be appear. Okay, it will appear. Then fourth condition, the ticket drawn, it may be a number which is square. Okay, a ticket, a number which is a square. असा एक नंबर जो आपण असं एक जे तिकीट आहे ते स्क्वेअर पाहिजे. आता आपल्याला माहिती आहे की 1 ते 100 मध्ये किती स्क्वेअर आहेत, तर 10. म्हणजे 1, 2चा स्क्वेअर 4, 3चा स्क्वेअर 9. ओके, सो असे स्क्वेअर असलेले 10 नंबर आहेत आपल्याकडे या सिरीजमध्ये 1 ते 100 मध्ये. तर चौथी कंडिशन काय आहे की असे 10 नंबर आहेत, 10 स्क्वेअर आहेत की ते कुठलाही स्क्वेअर या 10 पैकी येऊ शकतो. म्हणजे फॉर दिस कंडिशन 10 out of 100. सो प्रोबॅबिलिटी फॉर दिस कंडिशन इज 1/10. So this is how we can solve problem based on probability. These are simple. Again, the next important term is permutation and combination. Okay, actually one of the slide is missing here, but don't worry, I am orally explaining you and I can show you that slide if it is previously there. Yeah, so permutation and combination can be expressed with these figures or with this diagram. So before explaining the theory of probability, it is necessary to have an understanding of permutation and combination, because these terms they are used in calculation of probability. The word permutation refers to arrangement and the word combination refers to the group. Okay, so what is meant by permutation? It refers to arrangement and the word combination refers to group. So permutation refers to different arrangement of objects in a set. Permutation is what? Different arrangement of objects in a set where all elements are different and distinguishable. So these arrangements are without repetition of any individual object. If some of the objects they are similar, the permutation will be affected. And permutation are designed to find out the total number of ways in which even event can be performed. For example, we have 3 varieties of wheat and can arrange them in a 6 ways as follows. Okay, so ABC, ACB, BAC. Okay, so here with this diagram we can better understand. Okay, so we have these 3 varieties. Okay, A, B, C or 3 numbers, and we have to arrange these numbers in different ways such that there should be no repetition. So in case of first condition A, B, C, it is the first possible arrangement. Okay, then next A, C, B. Okay, it is the second possible arrangement. Then B, A, C, it is the third possible arrangement. Then again B, C, A, it is the fourth possible arrangement. Similarly C, A, B, it is the fifth arrangement, and C, B, A, it is the sixth arrangement. So this is the way by which we can arrange. So this concept or this theory is actually called as an permutation and combination. Means what? We can arrange the words in different way without repetition. Okay, so permutation refers to different arrangement of object in a set where all elements they are different and distinguishable, Here if you analyze, ABC is different, ACB is different, BAC is different, PCA is different, CAB is different, and again CBA is different. So this satisfies the condition, and these arrangements, they are without repetition of any individual objects. If you look at the series, then there will be no three words, they are repeated, and if the objects, some of the objects, they are similar, the permutation will be affected. So permutation, they are designed to find out total number of ways in which an event can be performed. So basically these are designed to check the total number of ways in which an event can be performed or event can be occurred. Okay, so this is the concept, and this diagram is based on that permutation. So based on this concept, we have to reduce equation, we have to reduce formula, direct formula, because in case of long series of words and long series of numbers, it is not possible to make sequences. So this permutation and combination, they are given by some formula or equation, and that equation is so this is the equation for calculating permutation as well as combination. So it may be noted that let NPR denote the number of permutation of n different objects taken R at the time. Okay, so here in this formula, n pth R denotes the number of permutation of n different objects taken R at a time, but it is difficult to write down permutation, therefore the formula has been derived symbolically. So the first, it is n pth n is equal to n factorial, the symbol that is look like a reverse I, that is known as factorial. So n factorial upon n minus n bracket factorial is equal to n factorial upon 0 factorial is equal to n factorial. But if R is equal to n, then finally formula is 1, n upon n is equal to 1 and n upon 0 is equal to 1. Therefore 0 factorial is equal to 1 if you solve for this problem. Then next, for n factorial, it is 1 into 2 into 3 into 4 and up to n. Means, thus if there are 6 factorial or 6 possible ways, so 6 into 5 into 4 into 3 into 2 into 1. Okay, so this is the main formula by which we can make arrangement if there are factorials. Here the reverse symbol, reverse I represents factorial. Okay, so there may be 3 factorials, there may be 4 factorials, there may be number of factors. So this is common formula, n factorial is equal to 1 into 2 into 3 into 4 into up to n. Okay, so this is how we can calculate the arrangements. Let's understand this is by example. Okay, so here example is given, how many different ways can the letter word Friday can be arranged. Okay, so first problem is that we have to arrange Friday. These are 6 digits or 6 letters, we have to arrange in different way. So by mathematically, by using this previously given formula, we have to calculate that how many ways we can write this number Friday. So this is the mathematically calculated way by which we can calculate that Friday, how many times we can write the Friday. Okay, so look at carefully, Friday, it has 6 letters, F R I D A Y. So there are total 6 letters. So by using formula which is given for factorial, so as there are 6 letters, so 6 factorials are there. So 6 into 5 into 4 into 3 into 2 into 1. So it is 720 different ways by which we can arrange the words Friday. Okay, are you got it? So what is the problem? in example 10, the first condition is given that in how many ways the letter word Friday can be arranged. Okay, the first condition is that how many ways the letters of Friday can be arranged. So first condition is that Friday, it has 6 words. Sorry, the word Friday, it contains 6 letters, F R I D A Y, total 6. So by putting in the factor calculation of formula that is used for permutation and combination, so as 6 words are there, so we consider as a 6 factorial, and 6 into 5 into 4 into 3 into 2 into 1, so 720 different ways by which we can write the or arrange the words of that Friday. Then in case of first, how many of these arrangements begin with F? So out of 720 ways, we have to calculate how many ways the arranged words they should begin with F. Okay, so as letter word appear singly, so in sorry for the inconvenience. So in this part, the F is kept fixed and we can arrange the other 5 letter words. Okay, R, I, D, A and Y. When we take all 5 atoms, so 5 factorials will be there. So 120 ways is the possible different ways by which we can arrange the words in which that word is begin with F. So this is how we can calculate. Similarly, how many begin with A? So if you fix the A for arrangement which begin with F and end with A, here it is given actually sorry for the inconvenience. Okay, no issue, no issue. I think that second condition is not given here, but the solution for third is given. How many begin with F and do not end with A? So here the third condition is solved, and for that, for the arrangement which begin with F and end with A, where both F and A are fixed, we can arrange the 4 letter R, I, D, Y. So when we can take all 4 at a time, then required factorial will be 4 into 3 into 2 into way. So 24 different ways by which we can calculate this number. Let's check another example. So in another example, datum word is given. So here, how many ways can the letters of word datum can be arranged so that the vowels may not be separated? Okay, this is the condition. Okay, there are 2 vowels A and U and third consonants D, T, M in a given word. So we consider 2 vowels A and U as a 1 letter X, and now there are only 4 different letters D, T, M, X to arrange. So these 4 letters can be arranged 4-pth way, that is 4 factorial into 4 into 3 into 2 into 1, and 24 ways we can arrange all these 4 letter words. So this is how we can calculate permutation as well as combination. Again, for number 12 problem is given here, example 12. So 4 events are to be decided by tossing 4 coins simultaneously. So how many different results are possible? So for that, solution is that if a coin is tossed, there are 2 possible outcomes, either head and tail for any event, and in case 2 coins are tossed simultaneously, there are 4 possible results. So that is 2 square is equal to 4. So here 4 possible ways that tossed coin will be appear, either HH, ST, TH and TT. So for this condition, 16 times we can calculate that. Okay, then in case of a family of 5 brothers and 4 sisters is so to be arranged for photograph in one row, find out how many ways they can be seated when all sisters are sit together. So this is the condition. So what is the condition? All sisters, they should be sit together. So consider 4 sisters as a one unit and arrange 5 plus 1, that is 6 different units taking 6 at time. So similarly the 6 factorial we can calculate, and 720 ways we can arrange their sittings where all sisters they will sit together. Then similarly 24 ways we can arrange them so totally 96 ways we can arrange them where all sisters they can sit together. So this is how we can calculate. Then next problem in this problem, this is the problem. Here a family of 5 brothers and 4 sisters is to be arranged for a photograph in one row, and we have to find out how many ways can they seated when all sisters sit together. Okay, so what is the condition? Arrangement should be that all sisters they should sit together. So consider 4 sisters as a one unit and arrange them in a 5 plus 1, that is 6 different units taking 6 times. So 720 ways we can make basic arrangement, and out of 720 ways 4 sisters they can arrange among themselves. So 4 different ways they can seated, so 24 ways they can arrange. Okay, so 720 minus 24 it is equal to 696. So 696 ways we can arrange their sittings so that the 4 sisters they will come together. Then next, the letter of word article arrange at random, find out the probability that vowels may occupy then at even places. Okay, so these are different kinds of problem, and we can easily solve this problem by considering this factorial, permutation and combination. Okay, so this next table depicts the relationship between combination and permutation. So in column first, number of objects are given, that is AB, ABC, ABC, and taken at a time, that is 2, 2, 3. So permutation and combination they are related to one another with this formula, and by using this formula we can calculate both of these things. Okay, so this is formula by which both of these factors they are related, and here examples are solved based on this problem. So there are 3 routes between Lucknow to Allahabad. In how many ways can you go to Lucknow and to return by a different route? So in this case you can choose any one of the route out of 3, and to return so you have to choose one route out of 2. So thus required number of ways, that is 3 into 6 ways we can use this road. Similarly other problems these are solved based on this principle. Again these examples they are given here. So when you will practice these things it will be easy for you, and this is all about probability remaining types. Okay, so in coming lecture we'll see theorems that are based on probabilities, and it contains addition rule as well as multiplication rule.